It's true. And these are the best and the finest. When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're not sending you. They're not sending you. They're sending people that have lots of problems, and they're bringing those problems with us. They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists, and some, I assume, are good people. But I speak to border guards, and they tell us what we're getting. And it only makes common sense. It only makes common sense. They're sending us not the right people. It's coming from more than Mexico. It's coming from all over South and Latin America, and it's coming probably from the Middle East. But we don't know because we have no protection and we have no competence. We don't know what's happening. And it's got to stop. And it's got to stop fast.
Will never be president.
It was on January 20, 2017 when Donald Trump became the 45th president of the United States, succeeding Barack Obama. Trump won 304 electoral votes compared with Clinton's 227. The Republican ticket of businessman Donald Trump and the governor Mike Pence won the 2016 elections in the United States against Hillary Clinton and the Senator Tim Kaine.
Trump, sworn in as president 100 days ago, America has rarely seen such success. A respected Supreme Court justice confirmed. Companies investing in American jobs again. America becoming more energy independent. Regulations that kill American jobs eliminated. The biggest tax cut plan in history. You wouldn't know it from watching the news. America is winning, and President Trump is...
News. Donald Trump began working in the family business and is now credited with a fortune of over $9 billion. Trump was a candidate for the United States presidency in 2016 with the largest number of followers in social networks with over 4.5 million followers on Twitter. His questionable proposals were alienating the Republican Party from a key voting community, Hispanics. Republican primary polls put him at the top with an average 23.4% voting intention. Trump's election program was an unknown, but from his official website, he had already made it clear what his three main proposals were and his objectives, although in some cases it was not clear how he's going to achieve them in the event that he occupies the Oval Office. Trump's three positions were divided into economic reform, immigration reform, and defense of the Second Amendment to the United States Constitution that gives citizens the right to keep and bear arms. All three have a common goal: to restore America to its greatness. Make America great again. These are some of his proposals. Economy. The economic reform proposed by Donald Trump was based on the fact that the economic issue is the main concern for 44% of Americans. Trump wanted to be the president of employment, and all proposals were aimed at lowering taxes, simplifying the tax system, increasing the country's competitiveness globally, and not further increasing the deficit. To this end, among other measures, Trump proposed lower taxes at rates not since World War II with a cap of 15%, currently 40%, for any business no matter what size. Eliminating income tax for more than 73 million households. Eliminating necessary deductions and exceptions in this new plan. And eliminate the death tax, which controls inheritance and succession. With these measures, Trump assured that It will increase the purchasing power of workers, which will lead to increased domestic spending, encourage saving and investment, and maximize economic growth. In addition, work in SMEs, the true engine of the country's economy, will be promoted, and with the decrease in rates GDP, the number of jobs created and workers' salaries will increase. All this because the United States needs a bold, simple, and viable plan based on conservative principles, he said on his website. Immigration. Trump's immigration plan responds to his desire to put the needs of American workers first, because we are the only country that puts the needs of other countries before our own. With this speech, Trump asserts that a nation without borders, without laws, and that does not serve its citizens. It is not a nation, and he wants to make the United States the great nation that it is. To achieve these goals, Trump proposes an immigration reform with the following guidelines: create a wall on the southern border of the country with Mexico, because Mexico has taken advantage of illegal immigrants to export crime and poverty, something that has been a great expense to the United States. Therefore, the construction of the wall must be paid for by Mexico. Seize the remittance from the salaries of illegal immigrants and increase the fees for temporary visas and tariffs at the ports of entry to the United States. Triple the number of agents at the borders, deport criminals from other countries who commit crimes in the country. Eliminate birthright citizens, which is a magnet for illegal immigration. Criminal punish people who stay in the United States without visas. Expel illegal immigrants who have settled in the country, and increase standards for accepting refugees. Armament. The third pillar of Trump's proposals focuses on upholding the Second Amendment to the Constitution, which states a well-ordered militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed, a right that Trump was willing to defend in order to go against criminals, not against citizens who abide by the Constitution, in defense of the freedom to bear arms and to prevent crime in the United States. Trump proposed increased investment in the country's now very deteriorated mental health system, defined the right to bear arms and the right to choose, as well as control the correct fulfillment of legal and medical background checks when acquiring them. Make this right a national right that is respected in all 50 states of the nation. If driver's license, which is considered a privilege, is valid throughout the country, so should the constitutional right to bear arms, Trump said on the web. Um, allow the army to carry weapons in workplaces and public spaces in order to fulfill its main objective, to defend the nation.
During all of his campaign, there were 5 keys to the Trump figure in the 2016 presidential campaign. The first one is that he got the attention of all of the social media due to his provocative style. Every time he was presented on a TV show or a program, this faced a big increase of the audience. Second, Trump benefited the Democratic Party by showing the most radical face of the Republican Party. With every polemic or speech in which he announces an unconstitutional or unconventionalist proposal, Undecided voters, so those closest to the center of the most progressive wing of the Republican Party, feel less identified with the potential of the candidates. This is a situation that was not happening inside of the Democratic Party with Hillary Clinton. Donald Trump was making to the party to rethink their position about the immigration issue. The gap between the Republican Party and the Hispanic community was growing. In the last legislative elections in November 2014, more than 25 million Hispanics had the right to vote, and those who did, 62% of the people who vote did it for the Democratic Party and 36 for the Republican Party candidates. But by 2016, two phenomena were expected. The first is that the number of Hispanics with the right to vote will increase. More people was allowed to vote for the candidates. And the second is that the participation rate of Hispanics will increase since, depending on who is elected president for the next 4 years, policies of main interest to Hispanics related to the economy. This was not helping to Donald Trump because the principal proposal of his campaign was to stop the illegal immigration. Donald Trump's position as a Republican candidate regarding this Hispanic population, the more than 11 million undocumented immigrants in the United States, and specifically from Mexico, because this is the majority group among Hispanics, was not helping the reputation of the Republican Party's campaign to reach out the largest minority in the country. Number 4, he canceled out all of the other Republican Party candidates. In this moment, Trump was eclipsing the rest of his fellow party members, which was leading to a situation of omnipresence and excessive protagonism, from which, according to some social media and election experts, voters will also get tired. At the moment, the audience rises every time Trump went out of the debates, except for a few situations where other candidates showed their strong side, focus on what Trump did or said. The question is whether the mogul will be able to maintain this level of exposure during the next year, defending his ideas with substance and convenience the rest of the voters, including many Hispanics. Number 5. He forced the Republican Party to rethink their future. Maybe one of the worst consequences of Trump's eruption in the political panorama of the Republican Party is that he was taken to the party to a big internal debate in which they had to decide what position to take in the near future. It can be understandable, like in the way of he being a president. Either became an anti-immigrant party, which threw away any attempt at immigration reform that legalizes the situation of more than 11 million of undocumented immigrants, imposes greater requirements to reside in the country, and increases control at the borders, or the party that takes advantage of the opportunities presented by the new demographic reality in the country, where the rise of the Hispanic community is exponential and unstoppable.
How could a candidate with an anti-liberal discourse, and apparently not shared by the majority of the American electorate, not only won his party nomination, but also be elected as the president? The political discourse that candidate Trump was proposing was not entirely new. What was important about these rallies was not necessarily the candidate's words. Rallies usually started with a certain Trump delayed. However, it was part of a strategy designed to affect audience members' self-perception. Waiting reinforced the idea that both the candidate and the message were important to the audience. It began to establish a norm of devotion in the crowd and a sense of shared identity among Trump's followers. Another important element of the rally was the obvious presence of security elements. The security deployment was evident and abundant. The elements in charge of the such protections were usually placed on the platform where the candidate would speak and looking directly at the crowd, looking for infiltrators. A message was continued broadcast over the loudspeaker system, instructing members of the crowd not to touch any infiltrated anti-Trump protester if they were detected, but to alert the security element by shouting "Trump, Trump, Trump." As expected, false alerts abounded, so the screams were sustained incessantly. There was one more group of unwritten actors who played a key role in the drama: the members of the media, who were usually kept separate from the crowd, visibly placed in a special section. They represent the voice of the hostile establishment that wanted to see their candidate defeated. At this point, the roles were reserved.
The media establishment were no longer large or powerful, but small and intimidated by the legends loyal to Trump. Beyond this dramatic performance orchestrated by the candidate and his advisors, what really set in motion, a significant portion of the American electorate was Trump's ability. He allowed many Americans to make the sense of their life experience, understand their problems, and hopefully solve them. Within this framework, he positioned himself as a champion and a voice of a group of defeated and voiceless people. When you look at the rallies, the speech, the gestures, and even the way candidate Trump was dressed and spoke, you can understand that nothing was left to chance and that the entire campaign strategy was contained on the exacerbation of certain emotions, directed at a clearly defined group of voters. Trump's speech followed a persuasive formula of proven effectiveness, creating an atmosphere of fear and dread, attacking vulnerable groups, attacking existing civil institutions, and convincing voters that he is the only person who can lead the revolution to restore order. A key element in his speech was his identification with the typical American citizen. Trump's character can be analyzed as an individual who was able to take advantage of the space created by complex American social conditions through his ability to manipulate the voters.
2020, the year of their election, Donald Trump officially launched his candidacy for presidential re-election in 2020. We don't have a king in this country. Trump's dispute with the United States governors over when to lift the coronavirus restrictions. End of the recommendations. Tonight, I stand before you to officially launch my campaign for second term as a president of the United States. Trump said, "I promise, I will never ever let you down. Our country is thriving," Trump declared. "The American dream is back, bigger and stronger than ever." His campaign slogan, "Keep America Great." Let's keep America great, a derivation of the iconic Make America Great Again he used in the 2016 campaign. Finally, the presidential elections will be held on 3rd November 2020.
Marketing. How a magnate without any experience in the world of politics went against a rival with more than 30 years of political career. Politics and marketing was a determinative factor for Trump in several aspects. There are many factors worth considering for a study, but there is one in particular who deserves special attention. It is marketing strategies. Appealing to emotions. Trump focuses on reaching out to his audience emotions by speaking his mind about issues that concern many Americans, which made him perceived as a guy who spoke without taboos. Speaking directly to the audience. Although many presidential candidates tend to highlight their accomplishments, Trump also pointed out Hillary Clinton's actions during her years in office, regarding terrorism, foreign policies, and even issues related to her husband, Bill Clinton. Clarity of message toward specific niches. Trump knew he had to reach out to specific sectors of population that were being ignored by the Democrats. Niches to which he told them what they want to hear in order to gain their loyalty. And to that end his message, though controversial, was clear, simple, and easy to remember, with things like build a wall between Mexico and the United States or make America great again. Communication strategy. It is remarkable the fact that among the many candidates, Trump was among those who spent less on television guidelines, leaving self-promotion, as I saw that it was the media themselves who spoke about him, whether with negative or positive mentions. The idea was that his name was always present in news, opinion programs, talk shows, social networks, and any traditional or digital media.
The more that a broken system tells you that you're wrong, the more certain you should be that you must keep pushing ahead. Because it's the outsiders who change the world and who make a real and lasting difference. Nothing worth doing ever came easy. Treat the word impossible as nothing more than motivation. The future belongs to the people who follow their heart no matter what the critics say. We must always remember that we share one home and one glorious destiny. We all bleed the same red blood of patriots. We all salute the same great American flag. Our best days are yet to come.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.